Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Millie and I love any makeup, especially shiny, shifty, and sparkly eyeshadows. And today I have a new palette from Beaute. I'm so excited that they came out with another one. They recently reformulated. I did a video where I tried out the reformulated Oceanic and Flare palettes and I loved the formula, the mattes and the shimmers, both such a huge improvement. So I'm really excited they came out with a new palette. So this is the Tropical Vibes eyeshadow palette. Love the packaging as always. They kill it. And the color story, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful, super grungy. I understand kind of where it's coming from, tropical vibes. I mean, this headband has like tropical vibes in it and it kind of reflects some of the shades, but it still feels like a grungy palette, especially because it came out right now instead of like in the summer. I still feel like it's more grungy. And there's only 3 shimmers in this palette. When I first saw the reveal video of this color story, the first immediate palette to compare to this that it reminded me of was the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette. So I will be showing you some swatch comparisons to just that palette. I don't really think that I have any other like super grungy palettes that might be similar. So let's get right into that and then the 3 looks that I created, and I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video. Top row is all Ace Beaute, bottom row is Melt 420. We've got Mango and Chartreuse compared to Wax and Shotgun. Shotgun is basically exactly the same as Mango, but there's not really much of a difference between Mango and Chartreuse. I think if you put these both on the lid, they will look pretty much the same. Then we have Palm Tree versus Dank, pretty much the same. Then Cocky versus Blunt, almost the same as well. Then Oahu versus Faded, definitely different. Then Army versus Chronic. They're a little bit similar, but Chronic has much more gray in it. Safari versus Full Melt, somewhat similar, but Safari has a lot more red in it, while Full Melt is more of an orange. Then we have National Park versus Shatter. Shatter is a pathetic shimmer, as you can see. It's much more like true yellow gold, and it's extremely sheer and really hard to build up and pick up. And then lastly is Cave versus Roll It, which I thought those look much more similar in the pan, but they're very different. Roll It is more of a brown, like a cool tone brown, versus Cave has a bit of cool purple in it. Priming with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. Going in with Oahu in the inner corner, on the inner crease, as well as the outer third. Taking Cave, and I'm going to put it right on the inner lid. Just kind of tapping it on until it starts to blend in with the crease shade. And then just lightly going in and blending it. And then doing the same thing on my outer corner. Just a little bit more. I'm having a little bit of patchiness like right here where it's about to meet the green. At least that's what it looks like over here on my end. Not really sure if it's translating in camera. Took that a little higher than I wanted to. Going back in with Oahu, I'm just gonna blend it into it, trying to get some of that color back. I think it's just these 2 colors don't really want to mesh together in terms of color. So next I'm taking the Glam Light Icing in the white shade, and I'm gonna basically just create just gonna map out a halo eye. Just gonna tap out the outer corners with my finger. Taking Army and putting it onto the outer portion of that white area. And then on the inner portion, or closer to my inner corner, and then Mango right in the center. And just trying to kind of blend it in between. Taking Army again, going back in with Mango, just going back and forth. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Cave. I feel like it's still looking a little weird in here. Alright, that took a bit of work, but I think I got it where I kind of like it Finishing off this look with Cave under my lower lash line, but I'm gonna just take it a little bit. I don't want to take it all the way, just kind of smoking it out. I feel like it's not sticking down, so I'm gonna go in with a different brush and tap it on. Where I set, it just doesn't want to stick down under here. I think it just doesn't want to go on top of something that was already set. And I'm taking Mango right next to it, and I'm just gonna bring it all the way in here as well. I'm not really too happy with this look, to be honest. Just not really feeling it. Finishing off this look with Palawan under my lower lash line, just connecting it with the outer corner. And I'm gonna take Chartreuse and put it the rest of the halfway under my lash line. There isn't really an inner corner highlighting shade, so I'm just not gonna highlight on the inner corner. So for the lashes, I'm going to be trying actually their new magnetic lashes. These are in the style, where does it say the style? This is a style Muse, so you can see these flare out a little bit. And something that really interested me in these is the fact that they have so many magnets on them. I've tried magnetic lashes before, I have videos up, and they just didn't have that many magnets. This, do you see how many magnets are in here, which is really helpful. So I'm going to be trimming these down, obviously. So these are super, super long, so I'm going to have to trim off quite a bit since I don't want them to go all the way on the inner corner. And so on the back of the box, you have the directions, pretty clear, and then each one of these pairs of lashes comes with a magnetic liquid liner, which I feel like I don't want to have to pay for the liner every time I buy a lash. Like, what if I just want to get a new lash? And it's $20 for the lash and the liner together. Okay, so this is interesting. It doesn't seem like a brush. It doesn't look like a brush. It looks like possibly like a silicone applicator type of thing. So it's very pointy, but it's a little thick, so I'm really curious. So we're just gonna do a line this way. I don't want to do a wing, so I'm just gonna try to keep it as close to my lash line as possible. So I trimmed off 3 little magnets, basically, is what it would translate to. Let's see, this is still sticky. I'm not sure if it's supposed to stay sticky. So I'm just gonna go in and attach these. It doesn't say anything about adding multiple layers. That seems to be sticking down pretty good. I would definitely not do like a full liner with this since it is so sticky. I just feel like I'd probably do the wing part with a regular liner and then go on top. Oh, it's poking up here, which is always my issue, is because of the curve of my lid. Ow, 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 ow. It felt like it was poking me. I'm gonna add a little bit more on top and just wait for it to dry. Alright, it doesn't feel, it's still kind of sticky. Do you see how my lid kind of moves when I touch it? But we're just gonna, oh yeah, that's like, okay, ready? Do you see how sticky that is? I'm bringing it up, but let's just put these on. Also don't like, because it looks like it's a thicker type of magnetic liner, so it looks kind of thick. So there we go. I think that's definitely sticking down a bit more. All right, that's pretty good. I like the style. It's not too long, which is what I was looking for. So I'm just trying to kind of mush my lashes with these lashes together. I feel like it's sliding further back. I really don't like this applicator. I don't think the applicator is good. I would prefer something much thinner. Like this. This is the KVD liner. And do you see just how precise, like you can get a really, really thin line. It seems like it kind of wants to lift a little bit. So I don't know if I can put on another layer though, but otherwise they seem pretty secure. Definitely like, so here's the first finished look with the Muse lashes. Second look, I'm priming with the icing primer. This is just the latest shade. This is not the white shade. I just realized I wasn't filming, so I blended Chartreuse in the crease, and on the outer corner is Palawan, and I did have to go and kind of add on a little bit more. I kind of blended away a little bit. as I was blending it, so I just went and packed on a little bit more. Next I'm going in with the NYX glitter primer, and I'm just gonna take it. I am gonna try to do like a half cut crease with it. I don't feel like going in with a eyeshadow primer first, so we're just gonna use the NYX glitter primer. Going in with Sage Jellies. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I'm taking it on an angle and putting it close to my lash line, and then taking Rainforest right above that. These shimmers mean business. And I'm blending it downward into that other shade. That is such a pretty color. Love this combination. These shimmers remind me of the Beauty Bay shimmers. I'm gonna go in with my finger. I'm curious to see how they feel. They definitely look even more metallic when you apply them with a finger. When we go in with this other shade, I mean, look at that. Oh yeah, that just brought it up another level. Even though I put down the NYX glitter primer, I feel like this just made it even shinier. And then on this side, I put on the Ardell 817 lashes. So here's the second finished look. So I didn't realize that my mic wasn't on, so voiceover Millie here. I primed with the Milk Makeup Eyeshadow Primer, and I went in with Palm Tree, and I'm only taking that about halfway into the crease and just blending it out. Then I'm going in with Safari to deepen it up, just right in the crease, and blending it up into Palm Tree, having to go back and forth just a little bit. And then I'm creating a wing with Cave, and just slowly packing it on and swiping outwards and then flicking out the edge to get a nice sharp line, and then connecting my lower lash line with Cave as well, only taking it about a third way in. Next, I'm going to blend Safari to the very top of Cave, just going back and forth with a small pencil brush from Refer and just taking it right on the edge. Next, doing a half cut crease situation with the NYX glitter primer. And I'm going in with National Park right where I put the NYX glitter primer down. I have to go back and forth a little bit. This brush really wasn't the greatest at picking it up. I think I could have benefited from a fluffier brush, but I really wanted that sharp edge of that brush. Next, going back in with Cave and just layering it back on. I'm gonna go in with my pinky again. I just feel like it didn't, oh yeah, it just applies so much better. Oh my god, that's like a whole different situation there. To go back in and fix this, but other than that, and then going back in with Safari and just blending it all together here. Put on the Kiss Chiffon lashes, and here's the finished look. So keeping in mind that I only created 3 looks so far with this palette, I used a bunch of shades, but there's also a bunch of shades that are untouched. I used all the shimmers, and the shimmers are so beautiful. They are pretty much almost exactly the same as the Beauty Bay shimmers, as the ones in the Wilderness palette, the Age of Opulence, as well as the Book of Magic. So if you really like those shimmers in those palettes, then I think you're gonna really enjoy these. Literally, just like even the way that like this one looks after I put my brush in it, it just looks exactly the same as those shimmers. I feel like this teal shimmer feels a little out of place in here for me. I know we have this matte shade, however, it just feels like it's so much brighter and more vibrant and a totally different tone from all these other tones. Now let's talk about the mattes. I had a little bit of issues. I really think it was partially to blame the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. I just had a lot of sticking down issues, so I would recommend this on a like a very tacky primer, or maybe setting your lid, because when I used the Milk Makeup Eyeshadow Primer, it just blended a lot better. Of course, I only blended like in the inner crease of my lid, but I need to try it out some more. I mean, I have lots and lots of ideas with this palette. I feel like I need to dip into this palette quite a bit more. I really feel like 3 looks is just not enough, especially since there's 15 shadows in here. Something that I noticed just from doing 3 looks is that I feel like they're gonna be somewhat similar. Like I don't feel like we needed all these different tones of greens. I almost feel like they're a little bit interchangeable. Also, most of these are pretty much the same depth, except for Mango and Chartreuse, of course. But like all these other mattes are pretty much like the same depth, with Cave being really the only deepest shade in here. I think Safari is kind of like on the verge of it, but really there's only one deepening up shade. So I do wish that there was one more. Maybe Safari was a deeper shade, or I would love to have seen like a really, really deep green in here. Maybe like Army or Jungle if they were just a bit deeper. So I just feel like, yes, you can create a lot of looks with this palette. However, I think there might end up looking pretty similar, since this is pretty much a monochromatic green eyeshadow palette. So those are some of my thoughts on the palette. I just wanted to quickly talk about the magnetic lashes that I got. I know I tried it only on one eye, and I definitely need to play with them some more. But just off of like first impressions, I really like the lashes. I like the lash style. I love that there's a lot more magnets on it. It just makes it easier, and I think they're going to be more secure because there's just more magnetization going on. I don't know if that's a thing. As for the actual magnetic liner, it stays pretty sticky, doesn't fully dry down, so definitely wouldn't do like a whole wing with it. Also, I feel like it would be like kind of wasting it because you're not really putting a lash on the whole thing. So I would do a regular wing with one of my favorite liners, and then just use this right as close to the lash line as possible. I really don't like the applicator. I think it's gonna take a little bit of like trying it out and getting used to it, but I would much prefer something very, very thin. I've tried a bunch of different magnetic liners, and all the other ones I feel like had a better brush. It was more of like a fiber brush, and it was just like they were longer bristles, while this seems like it's silicone applicator. And I also don't love that if you want to buy a lash, it already comes with the liner. I really hope that in the future they only sell the lashes by themselves, because $20 for a pair of lashes, I know you can reuse them probably like a lot of times, since you don't have to clean off any of the glue afterwards. But even then, you're just going to end up with a lot of these tubes of the magnetic liners. So I just wanted to put that out there, but definitely feel like these worked the best out of the liners that I've tried that are magnetic. So I think these have a lot of potential. And so that's everything for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you picked this palette up, or are you planning on picking it up. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup content, lots and lots of tutorials up already on my channel, and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.